In this video, I'm going to explain the whole setup of the earlier video using the Wacom tablet and GIMP. So let me explain with this setup in here. You don't see any menu or anything, so I all deleted all of them so that I can maximize this writing area. I think you can do that if you right-click on somewhere on the canvas. You can go to Views and you can click on all the menus and things like that. I think that's where I did it. If not, you can probably find it out here. So you remove all the things that the buttons that show in here and you maximize the area. But on the right side here, I actually have this toolbox ready. So I'm going to show you where that is. Of course, you don't want to put it over here. It's outside the cropped region where this recording device is capturing, so that you can move your cursor outside and then do some selections. This usually happens when you're talking. You have to do this, and while you're talking and you switch things around. So it's like what magicians do. You distract the audience. It's not the purpose. Usually when you lecture, you continuously say something in lecture, and at the same time, you changes it. Once you get used to it, you don't have to think about it. Your hands are out there, changing things and talking, things like that. So it's less distracting to the students. But I'm going to put it over here so that you can see what I'm doing with this toolbox. If you open the GIMP, you have really lots of things in the toolbox, but I only collected the one that I use here. So I'll explain how to do that later. But let me go ahead and talk about the basic things that I use a lot while I'm giving a lecture is drawing a straight line. If I tap on one part in there, as you can see, there's a little dot in there, and if you hold the Shift key, it generates a straight line. And my pen is hovering over the tablet, but once you landed it, and then it draws a straight line. And I did not release a Shift key, and then it's going to draw another line segments connected to the end of the earlier one. But if you release the Shift key, and it's going to end it there. So I use that a lot whenever I draw, XY coordinate system. And from the bottom to the top, and type it there, and you can draw it really quickly. Unfortunately, it does not have other shapes. So when I have to draw a circle, I actually have to draw a circle like that. Okay, so I have to practice it a lot. Okay, so that's the one thing. And let me draw like a polygon by just tapping on that like that. So in that way, you can draw a little, parallelogram shape. And there is a paint bucket, sometimes useful. It takes a little bit of time, so I tend to not do that while I'm giving a live lecture. But you can use that to fill in with this one with a different color. Next, most frequently used function in here is moving things around. Usually this rectangular selection mode is the quickest, but this you can do that with a freehand motion thing in there. You can choose select the things like that. Let me go ahead and escape over there. But rectangular thing is usually convenient. You go ahead and select it like this. So it hasn't really selected anything yet. It just has a rectangular region, but if you place your cursor over here or pen over here, it has this cross mode. That means it's ready to move this thing. If you move it, it doesn't move the content, it only moves rectangular box. To hold whatever is inside this box, you have to use this Control-Alt key. Then hold this Control-Alt key down, and then if you move things around, even if you release the Control-Alt key, it has it. Once it's locked, it moves things around. So you can place it over here and like that. Okay, you actually use that a lot. And I set this to pen tip and the tablet button so that I can switch from, you can see this is rectangular mode. By clicking on this pen button there, I switch to pen, without really going there, so you can write it quickly. Things like that. And also had this button and as an eraser, so when I'm drawing something like that, I meant to hit the wrong button. And this is eraser, and you can really erase it quickly. As you can see, it can be done really quickly, not going back and forth like that. All right. Another thing is a color, and if you hit color in here, and you can, if you register this one and it shows up, and you can just tap it in there. And I didn't hit OK. I can just still go out there, can draw things in, yellow color. And if I just cancel this one, I'm back to the white one there. But if I go ahead and hit OK, because you will be using it a long time, and then it switches to yellow one, and then things like this. Let me go ahead and draw this line there and this angle theta, things like that. To go back, you have to do the registered white color, and that one is now in X, Y. Try to find this hotkey for this exact window there, change foreground color. There's other color palette, so I can do that with hotkey, but I thought about it, which is more convenient. As far as I know, what I've found is that this is the quickest way. Tap it and choose a select and go back and forth in terms of coloring. So other things are, let me go ahead and copy and paste, go to website and use, and I have also got hotkey here for screenshot, and I go to, like I said, I'm talking and then my pens are moving, then you tend to focus on other things, but I clicked on several things in there. Now I pasted it, and this is called floating layer, and if you place it over here, you can see this is still in pen mode. We want to change that in the move mode, and that is a rectangular key. But I have it here and a hotkey here. So if I click on that hotkey in my tablet button, it switches to this move mode. As you can, hope you can see that is across the move mode. Then you can move things around and place it over there. Still selected, not docked into the bottom layer. You can use this thing to make it bigger or rotate it and things around like that. So if you place it outside, you can see it's an anchor mode, and see if I can make it bigger. You can see this is an anchor mode. So if you tap on that one time, and then it might anchor. No, I was doing the wrong thing there, and I supposed to click on that one. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I think it's already anchored. So looks like that. Let me do that one more time. So to make sure, change that to the move and move it over here. And outside is anchor mode now. And if you tap it outside, now it's actually merged into a canvas. A little inconvenient, but with a hotkey it works fine. I do this a lot, drawing a line, copy a screenshot into that and anchor that there and move things around, and select it like that and moving things around really quickly. Got used to it, so do things quickly in there. And there's eraser, things like this. So this is basic things I do a lot. And next, let me show you how to control this toolbox so that you don't have a whole lot, just a few of them. Then it's easier to select and it's faster. So it's probably in the edit part in there. If you go edit, and must be in the preference. So it might have not shown that. Let me go back and here and tap on the top part so that you can see what's in the bottom is a preference under edit menu. So if you go there and you can find this toolbox, if you click on the toolbox, it's going to list everything that can go into toolbox. A lot of them are selected. So here's airbrush. I really don't use it a lot, so I should have just turned that off. I'm going to do that, turn that off there. So it was there and it disappeared as I do that. So these are the only thing that I use occasionally. And this color thing is useful, but it was here. If you move that, you can see that disappeared. If you select that, the color thing appears in there. So that's how you control the toolbox. Turn off the things that you don't use. So that's how you do the toolbox. And next thing is a hotkey. Let me see. Hotkey was already under these. I'm going to go ahead and do that again over here. Edit under the hotkeys. Shortcut keyboard shortcut. That's what I meant. So there's a lot. Actually, go through each single of each of them to find out, what to set. So let me just go and click on this edit as an example. The first one is a clear. This is a delete button. If you clear, it's going to delete whatever inside is selected, or if you didn't select anything, it's going to delete the entire canvas. So let me go back and close it here. And you have a delete keyboard in there, so you can use that, but it's also set it in here in my Wacom tablet, so you can do that too. So here, using this keyboard, I, do the rectangular box and select it in there, and then hit delete key, and then it's going to erase that. So you can see, right? So that's a delete thing. So we go back, edit, keyboard shortcut. It was in edit there. And if you click on that, and here you can change the key. You can change it to something that's closer to your left hand. This is all the trick. They all gather around in here, my shortcuts, so that I can hit it easily, so I don't have to go around everywhere. So the main point is that you can customize these shortcuts that is convenient to you. So my Wacom tablet has some buttons and copying and paste, even screenshot and all that in here. Frequently used one set up here so that I can do this really quickly. I realized I didn't explain how I got this canvas thing. I don't think I did that. This color and the background color. So it was in layer thing. If you go to Windows and there's a dockable dialog. Under the Windows dockable dialog, there's a layer dialog box. If you click on that, you will have this layer thing. Actually, that's not, but it shows the layer. This is how you did it. I apologize. Go back to this background color in your toolbox, and we're going to change the background to the black color. So I think that was black in here. And hit OK. As you can see, the background color changed to black, but it didn't really change the background of the canvas. I don't know why they made it like this, but you have to go one more step, but you don't have to do it all the time once you set up, and that's it. I think it's an edit. Under the edit, it says fill with the background color. So background color is selected black. So if you click on that, it's going to change to black, and it's going to cover everything. I don't know why, but it does that, everything. So here, if I undo that, and for the first time before you're writing anything, if you do that, well, let me go and do that and show you the effect in there. Now, if you write it on it, it's a real blackboard now with all that thing in there and all this thing in there. All right. So let me go ahead and change that to my dark green once again and edit and fill it with that color. We're back, but we lost everything in there, which we have to write it again. But that's the thing. I found where those old menu things is. If you go to File again, Views, I was right. It was somewhere on the View. Now those are the Show Menu Bar, Show Ruler, Show Status Bar. These things will show up in the top of the menu. But if you don't use it while you're doing that, you can hide it by controlling that. So that's a GIMP thing. I just realized today this nice software called Autodesk SketchBook is free for 3 years for educators and students. So I downloaded it. And that actually came with the Express version of Autodesk SketchBook. Express version came with that tablet, but it's limited. It doesn't have any hotkeys and it's very limited. So that's why I use this one. But they now release that for free for educators and students. So that's I'm going to show you that to here. This really good software. The sensitivity is the same as this GIMP thing. So let me pause it. Here it is. This is how Autodesk SketchBook, the full version, looks like. I think this is just perfect for that kind of purpose, just giving a lecture. So it doesn't have a full force of GIMP. Is not actually made for that kind of purpose. It was a photo editor, so it loads a whole lot of other things and Photoshop as well. But this one, its only purpose is just, writing something on this canvas. So it works really fast, loads really quickly, and so on. So let me begin with changing the background color. I think it was in layer. If you go to this layers button, click on that. And here's a background. Here it's hiding the background. If you hide that, as you can see, change that the white color is gone. This is an international symbol for transparent background kind of thing. If I show you that like that, white color is back. I just have to change that to green, dark green color, just like a board effect. So as a color plaid, here I'm going to choose some of the greenish color in there and a really dark one like that. That looks good enough to me. So I guess that's that, and then deselect that. Okay, and next thing is a pen, and I particularly like this pen right there. And if you double click on that, you can change the thickness there and opacity, but it's really dark. That's what I like about it. And I don't know about the color. Color, you have to change it over here to the platinum there. Maybe you can go all the way to that. That's going to be white color. There it is. Then if you write it, let me write my favorite word. Well, let me make it a little bit thicker to show you the effect of this nice effect there. It's can't really write it. Wanted to show that his end, as you lift it, you can see kind of reflects nicely the stroke over there. Is really nice. And here's this fundamental. I don't know why I always write this word whenever I'm demonstrating this, but I love this fundamental theorem of calculus. As you can see, if you press hard, it goes thicker. It's really fun. Doesn't look like quite the chalkboard effect, but it is really fun. You can see, like that, and you write it really naturally like that with a stroke, right? This is my first name in Chinese character, things like that. It looks really nice. So that's the pen. All the palettes are round, and they have nice shape tool. So you can draw circle in there. You'll be surprised. This is really thick because I chose the thickness a lot because I like this ink pen. If it is down there, it's a normal thickness 5. It's kind of too thin to me. That's why I chose that. Right? You can see this really thin. Can't quite see it at all. But anyway, these are ballpoint pen, but it's not wide enough. You can deal with it. It is really works really well. This is as if you're actually writing on a piece of paper. There's no lag at all in between there. Okay, right now this is free for 3 years. Why not download and play with it? This looks perfect for lecturing purpose.